Hello and magandang hapon po. Thanks for joining us today. Matagal din po tayong na-busy from Mother's Day and from my birthday. And also, nagbigay po tayo ng isang live stream talk sa mga students po ng Fatima earlier last week. So, na-busy po kami and today we are now resuming our live streaming. So, ako po si Dr. Ana York Bondoc. Our program is called Libreng Konsulta. And invite ko po kayo to like and share and follow this FB. And meron din po kami, please follow us on YouTube, also named Dr. Ana York Bondoc. We are trying to reach po 1,000 subscribers. Tulungan nyo naman kami. And also, please watch our older episodes. Ang dami po dating magandang pinag-usapan that are worth reviewing. They are all on YouTube. So ngayong hapon na to, earlier on, I did Sinovac. Sa totoo lang, ito po ngayon is bakunang Astra Zeneca, 5 mahalagang usapin. So tara, pag-usapan po natin, our vaccination program in the Philippines has begun with 2 major vaccines. Ito po ang Sinovac and AstraZeneca. Pinag-usapan ko na po ang Sinovac. So let us now discuss the second major vaccine po sa Pilipinas, which is AstraZeneca. Okay? So ano bang AstraZeneca? It's a brand name. The entire vaccine is actually called formally or known po as the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. It was developed po in the United Kingdom with the spin-off po ng Oxford University Vaccine Group. And this is a UK-developed vaccine. Nag-partner po sila with the global pharmaceutical AstraZeneca para po maging Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. The moment the pandemic started po last year, that was February 2020, nag-develop na po sila. And they linked up po with AstraZeneca in May 2020. This is also marketed po by the All India Serum Institute with the word Covishield. So baka naririnig nyo rin po yung Covishield. Actually, this morning, nabasa ko lang po yung Covishield. So Covishield and AstraZeneca is actually the same vaccine. Yun lang po yung brand name. In the EU, it is also called Vaxzevria. Pero in the Philippines, pag sinabi po talaga natin, it is called AstraZeneca. Bakunang AstraZeneca. And it arrived here in the Philippines. Nauna po ang Sinovac, followed by the AstraZeneca vaccine. So, ano po ba yung prinsipyo po ng AstraZeneca? Well, is it the same as Sinovac? First of all, the answer is hindi po. Sinovac is an inactivated virus. In other words, patay po na form of SARS-CoV ang nasa loob po ng Sinovac. Sa AstraZeneca naman po, it is it's called a adenovirus vector. So ano pong meaning nun? There is a chimpanzee adenovirus po. And they took out a portion of that. And then yun po yung ginamit nila to enter the cell. Dala po niya yung coding po ng spike protein ng ating pong SARS-CoV virus. Using this adenovirus vector, it's a harmless, it cannot affect the body. It is a vector. Ano meaning ng vector? Ang vector is something that is carried, no? So the vector, the adenovirus carries the coding po for the SARS-CoV spike protein. It enters the cell, goes into the nucleus, and then magkakaroon po the cell codes it into a messenger RNA, and then it starts to produce po yung spike protein na yun po yung magiging antigen that the antibodies will be formed in reaction to this. So, iba po siya from the Sinovac, which is an inactivated. Ito po, adenovirus vector for the spike protein. Okay? So, since this vaccine was developed in the United Kingdom po, it is mostly used in the United Kingdom. So, marami pong mga tao po sa UK and sa Europe and now even in the US who were vaccinated po with Oxford AstraZeneca bakuna. It was first approved po 30 December 2020 and the first dose outside of the clinical trial, we saw this ang Pilipina po yung nag-administer po nito And this was administered by a Filipina nurse po in January 4, 2020 sa United Kingdom. Okay? Known side effects po ng ating virus is is usually very mild. Soreness po, bumibigat ang inyong kamay. Redness, fever, sometimes dizziness, sometimes flu-like symptoms, and there have been cases po of chills also. And cases of anaphylaxis are very rare. Ano ba meaning na anaphylaxis? Yung na-allergy po talaga, no? Cases of anaphylaxis, generalized allergy are quite rare. 41 cases po daw ang nangyari sa UK. Okay? Pag-uusapan po natin yung blood clots later on. Astra Zeneca is a 2-dose vaccine. It was initially programmed to be 4 to 12 weeks apart. Eventually po, sa UK, they started to delay po yung 4 weeks and they eventually found out that it was most effective at 12 weeks. So sa Pilipinas po, most of those who were vaccinated late March will be revaccinated po late May or early June. Ito po, very, very important po. Unlike the messenger RNA vaccines like Pfizer and Moderna, ang AstraZeneca po, and this is really, really very important, is refrigerator stable. In other words, ref temperature lang po, pwede na pong magamit and it will remain effective. So you can keep it po, this is very important, tayo po ay mga islands, ano? Keep it in the ref and it will be safe and effective. Again, very, very important, AstraZeneca is one of the cheaper vaccines. It's in fact, napakamura po talaga. Compared po to the messenger RNA vaccines, which are quite expensive. Sa EU po, it was being given at the dose of $2.16. So $2, sabihin na natin 50 to 1, that's around 110 pesos. Ganun po, no? Sa Bangladesh po, they have acquired it for the amount of $4, that's 200 pesos, no? Sa Thailand po, of which the Philippines is going to be getting our vaccine from Thailand, it is being sold at $5. The Philippines reportedly bought 2.6 million doses at $5.60. That's around 250 plus pesos. Siguro mga 275 pesos per vaccine. So malaking bagay po 'yon for a third world country. Okay, may issue po about the most important thing I'd like to talk about sa ating pong AstraZeneca. Before we go to the blood clots, ito po, AstraZeneca was tested on adults above the age of 60. So that is the reason why AstraZeneca was originally approved po sa Pilipinas for the senior citizens. But now po, as I mentioned before, Sinovac is also approved for senior citizens. But AstraZeneca has firm data on the efficacy po for senior citizens. The efficacy po, it's widely reported in the US, in the UK is 76% safety after the first dose. And eventually po, again, for dying, severe hospitalization, 90% po above. So puntahan na po natin yung major issue po sa AstraZeneca, which are the blood clots. Ano pong nangyari dito? There were a number po of reactions of people who developed po blood clots together po with low blood platelets. So actually medyo, how do I put this? Opposites Kasi platelets help you clot. So mababa yung platelets mo. So supposedly you are not going to be clotting. But they were found to have rare blood clots which are found po. Actually, there were some in the central, some are in the brain po. And a few persons actually passed away. So out of the 34 million po who were vaccinated, there were found to be 222 cases. So yung ano po noon is really very rare. And kinumpute po nila, it's around 2 to 6 in 1 million cases po, no? So what happened? Sa EU, sa UK, is tinap po muna yung AstraZeneca to review the details, okay? At what happened? They found out po that pinag-aralan po nila what's the safety, kailangan ho ba talaga ng AstraZeneca, ganun po, no? And in 17 March, the WHO reviewed all the data and said that the risk outweighs the benefits. Malaki rin ho naman yung risk of dying from COVID, especially if you're an elder adult. So they said the risks outweigh the benefits and they recommended to continue AstraZeneca. Sa Europe po, the risks outweigh the benefits. Sinabi po nila on 25 March and on 13 April, they agreed po that AstraZeneca clots are a rare side effect po talaga of the shot. In the Philippines, ano pong nangyari sa clotting? First of all, walang nangyaring insidente pong ganito sa Pilipinas. Nobody had a clotting episode due to AstraZeneca in the Philippines. Number 2 po, ni-review po, April 1st, 2 weeks, tinap po ng FDA ng Pilipinas yung pagbigay po ng AstraZeneca. And their FDA expert panel in the Philippines po reviewed AstraZeneca. And on April 15, the Philippines okayed to resume AstraZeneca. About a week ago, 2 million doses of AstraZeneca arrived. These are for the people who are going to get their second dose. And patuloy rin po ang pagbakuna ng AstraZeneca. With regards naman po sa AstraZeneca and the variants, magandang tanong ito. Kasi sa South Africa, it's what's reported that they're no longer giving AstraZeneca because it is not effective against the South African variant. Again, this is not thoroughly proven. In the UK, nagkaroon po ng thoughts, kasi may UK variant, nagkaroon po ng thoughts na baka po humina yung AstraZeneca for the UK variant. But so far po, it remains in use in the UK and bumaba naman ho talaga yung deaths and incidents po ng COVID in the United Kingdom. In fact, today, maglulusan na po sila ng kanilang mask requirements sa UK at yung kanilang mass gatherings. So they will be able to resume semi-normal lifestyle and in stages po tuloy-tuloy. So AstraZeneca has been used in the UK. There is the UK variant. Bumaba naman din po pa rin ang kanilang rates of COVID, rates of deaths of COVID. So it seems to be working in the real world. So yun po yun. Those are the facts about AstraZeneca. AstraZeneca is here in the Philippines as one of the 2 vaccines that we are now using, which were still donated by the COVAX. Ito po yung United Nations grouping and ito po binuo ng United Nations to give vaccines to the hindi po first world countries but middle countries and third world countries. The Philippines has received COVAX of AstraZeneca and patuloy rin po ang atin pong pagbabakuna. So my final word po on AstraZeneca, it's a good vaccine. It has been used widely po in Europe and the United Kingdom. It seems to be effective kasi bumaba naman po yung kanilang COVID. There have been rare side effects of blood clots of which some people died. But upon studying all the evidences po, it's still better po na babakunahan kasi mas mahirap din naman kung mamatay ng COVID. This side effect is extremely rare. It has not yet been shown in the Philippines. I forgot to mention, it's more common in younger women. So, yun lang po, no? If you're male and older, you don't really have to worry. And again, sinuri naman po ng ating FDA, sinuri po ng UK, sinuri din po ng mga European associations, and they have agreed that the risks outweigh the benefits of AstraZeneca. So kung kayo po ay matawag at makita nyo po na AstraZeneca po ang ibabakuna sa inyo, please go and get yourself vaccinated for your safety and to save your life. So sa inyo po lahat, these are the facts about AstraZeneca in the Philippines right now. And I'm hoping po that you will think about it and you will consider and sana po pumayag kayo na mabakunahan po ng AstraZeneca dito po sa vaccination program ng Pilipinas. Thank you so much po and good afternoon.
From Miss Maylene Medina, hi, Doctora.
Hi, Maylene, how are you? Before we start our questions, I would like to ask the first question and to let everyone know that, first of all, the first person that I personally know na nabakunahan po ng AstraZeneca is my husband po, si Dr. J. Kwento ko lang po yung kanyang AstraZeneca experience. Actually, akala po ni Dr. J is gonna receive Sinovac. As a frontliner, tinawag po siya and nag-register po siya sa doctor. And when we got there, medyo nagulat nga siya, nalaman niya AstraZeneca. So he called me up. I said, I know that's good vaccine, pabakuna ka. So nagpabakuna po si Dr. J ng AstraZeneca last April. siya po, he developed side effects. Nagkaroon po siya ng chills, fever, and nanghina po. He took one paracetamol, natulog po the next day until around 11 o'clock, tumatambay-tambay lang po sa bahay. Pero nung hapon, nagtrabaho na po, and so far, as of today, he's still okay. His second dose po is going to be early June. Okay, so yun po yung experience ng aking asawa, si Dr. J. I'd like to share with you also, and we'll ask her to share her experience with us, our moderator and assistant po dito, and our nurse, Miss Reina, was vaccinated with Astra Zeneca a few days ago. Reina, please tell us your experience sa Pasig.
Hello, good afternoon po, Doktora. Good afternoon to our 84 viewers. Yes, opo, last week na bakunahan nga po kami for, ang nauna po nun is my dad and ang aking partner na si Randy. They received Sinovac. And myself, I received the next day Astra Zeneca. I was supposed to, ang gusto ko talagang ipabakuna is Sinovac because it's the old version eh. And we both know in the medical field, Doktora, na kung gusto mo lang din naman na magpabakuna, edi yung older version. Pero kung meron na rin namang available, why not ang AstraZeneca, di ba po? So, yun nga, nabakunahan kami ng AstraZeneca and side effect wise, meron siya talaga. Pagturok pa lang.
Naramdaman mo, Reina? Oo.
Actually, Doc, pagturok pa lang po talaga ng kasi ako used ako sa hindi ako takot magpa-injection or something kasi nasa field ako ng medical, so receiving it is not a problem, no? However, nung kakaiba siya pagkatusok siya sa akin nung vaccine, mararamdaman mo talaga yung gamot. May talagang hollow.
Oo.
Yes. You will feel a hollow fluid na pumasok sa muscles mo. And then doon mabigat yung pakiramdam nung injection site, pati yung buong arms. Pag nasa sasakyan pa lang kasi ang haba, may monitoring yung monitoring
they have to be monitored, yeah. Oo.
It will take you 15 to 30 minutes. Nasa monitoring area pa lang ako. I'm a bit sleepy. Akala ko dahil sa pagod lang. So akala ko okay, dahil ang haba ng pila, nakakapagod. Doon ako na sleepy. So nasa sasakyan, sleepy na ako hanggang sa nakauwi. Nung nakauwi na, medyo mabigat na yung pakiramdam. And I didn't took it negatively kasi meaning to say, ume-epekto yung gamot. So, on the coming days, I felt feverish. Feverish siya, not having fever.
Not fever naman, feverish.
Yes, feverish lang. Meaning to say, yung pakiramdam na parang nilagnat ka, pero hindi naman high ang temperature. So, mabigat yung katawan. And the funny thing here is that lagi akong tulog. Yun po.
That's it? Were you able to take care of the kids the next day or nahirapan ka ba?
Medyo yung feeling ng grogge, ganon, Doktora.
How long did that last?
I'm sorry, Doc, nawala po ulit. Ano po yan?
Oo. Gaano katagal yung naantok ka? Hanggang ba? Or the next day, you were able to be alert naman?
Alert naman, pero yung parang feeling na ang bigat ng mata mo and you wanted to sleep kasi ang bigat din ng katawan. Ngayon, up until now, I'm still a bit sloppy and sleepy, pero I can move around na. Yes, hindi na mabigat yung... Pero
parang medyo mabigat ang katawan mo, oo. Ilang araw yun?
Up until now, I feel sleepy, pero nalalabanan pa naman. I have two kids. I have to talaga. Yes. Yes, mga siguro, Doktora.
Okay naman. Okay. Question. Si daddy mo ba at saka si Randy na Sinovac?
They have received Sinovac po.
So ikaw lang na Astra?
Yes.
And how long? how
Oo.
long ka naghintay sa vaccination site? Baka naman napagod ka doon.
Ganito, ang daddy, pinaregister ko siya. However, hindi siya nabigyan ng schedule. But then, nung tumawag sa akin dito sa Pasig for my schedule, I told them na, pwede ko bang isabay na ang daddy ko? He is senior.
Senior. Oo.
They are very much willing. The reason why ako nauna sa the rest, because I have comorbidity. They are actually taking high precautions sa comorbidity mo if you have allergies. Same case with me, I have asthma and allergic rhinitis. So talagang kinonsider nila yun, Dok. Kasi ang sabi ng doktora sa akin doon, sa consultation area, mahirap daw po magkaroon ng tamaan ng COVID. Well, lahat naman mahirap tamaan ng COVID. Pero if you have respiratory problems such as
Ay,
asthma
nako.
or
Yes.
upper
Not good.
nasopharyngeal, yes, mas maliit yung chances mong makahinga ng maayos pag may COVID ka. So, they considered mine as one of the comorbidity. Nagulat nga ako sabi ko, talaga pwede po, opo. Tapos pinapunta na ako sa schedule, sa site, and then at first talagang gusto ko Sinovac and then sabi sa akin, hindi ma'am, pang ano ka talaga Astra Zeneca, kasi I think it has something to do with my allergies as well, kasi si Sinovac yata, since it's a inactive virus, baka magkaroon ako ng allergy with that. So
So, they took na ng Astra. Wala namang masama. Both are good. Oo. Both are good. So, yun pala yung kwento mo ng Astra, Reyna. That's good.
Yes.
Oo. That's good.
Ang funny thing, Daddy and Randy, they both received Sinovac, but then they didn't have any, wala silang naramdaman.
Wala sila naramdaman.
Wala daw. And they were like, talking to me, parang, ako, sloppy na ako, medyo groggy. So, yun yung story behind it.
So, okay. Pero nalampasan mo rin and you're okay now.
Yes, I'm okay now and hopefully maging okay. And wala rin naman akong parang side effect. Oo, side effect in the future. Wala naman po.
That's good. Congratulations for your Astra story. So, yan
yes,
po.
Na po
My
tayo,
Astra story. Yan. From Miss Reyna. Nakwento ko lang yung Astra story naman ni Dr. J. Yung akala din niya Sinovac. And then later on, Astra din pala. Okay?
Yes
so,
po.
Hello?
Doc, yes.
Nagre-reconnect. Wait lang.
Sige po. Sige lang po.
Okay. Hi, sorry na naputol ata or some connection problem. So thanks for sharing with us your Astra story, Miss Rains, our nurse. Akala po niya Sinovac din siya, but she got Astra and was okay. Got groggy, pero okay. My husband also, akala po niya Sinovac, naging Astra, but okay. Iba pa kong kilala kong na Astra, yung anak po ng secretary ko, my nurse, the daughter of Miss Bless, got Astra, okay naman. My elderly, the kapatid po ng nanay ko, who's 86 years old, got Astra, okay rin po siya. Half of my cousins got Astra, and the other half got Sinovac. Everyone naman is okay. So, thanks everyone for getting vaccinated. And siguro let's answer a few questions about Astra.
Okay po, Miss Kat.
Marami na daw questions. Oh my goodness. Okay. Thank you for warning us. Para short lang yung mga sagot namin. Sige, Miss Rains.
From Mizari Cruz Larin, sa mga may maintenance na pampalabnaw ng dugo, dapat po bang ibakuna sa kanila ang Astra Zeneca?
That is a beautiful question. And I actually researched this kasi so many people have problems with clotting. Actually, ang heart disease is a problem with blood clots eh. That's why a lot of people who are with cardiac disease are actually receiving aspirin. Yung iba naman po, heparin, ganun po, no? Lalo na yung enoxaparin, yun po yung mga gamot eh. But, pinag-aralan po ito ng mga dalubhasa on clotting. And the mechanism of clotting of heart disease and actually pulmonary emboli, leg clots, iba po yung clotting kes sa AstraZeneca. Kasi po sa AstraZeneca, biglang bababa po yung platelets nyo. And then, paradoxically, what's the meaning of paradoxically? Kabaligtaran po, biglang you will develop po blood clots. And actually, the most common gamot, which is heparin, should not be given to these people. So, iba po yung iba po yung, it's different. It's hard to explain, pero yung cardiac blood clots, leg blood clots, and lung blood clots, yung normal na clotting that we know, iba po yon sa clotting ng AstraZeneca. Iba po talaga. There's a different mechanism. So, ni-review ko po, ang advisory po ng mga cardiac is it's actually okay even if you are taking blood thinners to get AstraZeneca. Okay? It's actually okay. Walang advisory po na nakasulat na hindi dapat. Kaya lang, if you are taking blood thinners like heparin or you're injecting yourself daily, sub-Q po, you may want to see, may doktor na rin kayo eh. Okay? Puntahan nyo na rin po. Most of all, most of the people who are on blood thinners po, and nag-i-injection sub-Q daily, may cardiologist po yan. Puntahan nyo. Pero so far, at this moment, there is no advisory about, there is no advisory na people with heart disease or even on blood thinners and history of blood clots should not take AstraZeneca. Okay? So, walang advisory na ganun. Pero, kung kayo po ay naka-blood thinners na rin naman at may cardiologist din naman po kayo, puntahan nyo na rin po. There is nothing wrong. So, at the moment, wala pong advisory because the mechanisms are different. And actually po, ito lang Ms. Zari, sorry. Most of the people who have developed blood clots, cardiac disease, ganun po yon, they are older. Most of them are male. Ang nakita po na complications from AstraZeneca were in females and younger. So, iba talaga. Okay?
From Miss Liza Galpo, scheduled po ako ng second dose ngayon, pero nagkaubusan daw po. Ask ko po if okay lang po yun and hanggang kailan po ba pwede ma-delay ang second dose ng vaccine?
Ma'am Lisa, are we talking about Astra? Kasi dumating lang po yung 2 million dosing of AstraZeneca last week at ito po yung magiging reserve daw for the second dosing. Actually, sa UK po, ang naging strategiya po ng UK was to first dose everybody. And then, ngayon pa lang nga actually sila nagsi-second dosing. Sa roll out nila talaga na napakarami po nila talaga na bakunahan. Talagang bumaba po yung kanilang death rate. Actually, only 4 na lang or something like that. Nag-plunge po talaga yung kanilang positivity rates, very low. Kaya lang, they are racing to vaccinate ngayon the second dosing kasi they are worried about the Indian variant naman po. So, if you got AstraZeneca, dumating na po yung 2 million doses, masasagot daw nila yon lahat, all of the second dosing.
From Miss Maylu Domingo Laideros, okay lang po sa akin ang AstraZeneca kasi post-transplant po ako.
Maylu, are you a post-kidney transplant? Yes, actually the answer would be yes, but I would suggest for you to see your nephrologist po.
From Mizari Cruz Larin, halimbawa po, nagkaroon po ng COVID after ng gamutan at quarantine, tama or okay po bang magpabakuna?
Dati, people used to say 90 days post-COVID, pero ngayon 2 weeks na lang ata okay na pong mabakunahan. Especially kung na first dose and you are awaiting your second dose. As long as you're okay and wala nang symptoms, you can get vaccinated na po. Yung pinsan ko, Dr. Luisa Tixon Puyat, got vaccinated after she got COVID po.
From Mizari Cruz Larin, Di ko pa po napapanood ang tungkol sa Sinovac discussion nyo. Okay lang po ang
Ay,
AstraZeneca sa may high blood pressure and diabetes?
yes, ma'am. Kasi, Ma'am Zari, manood mo po kayo. Sige nga, i-post mo dito, Rains,
Sige po.
Sinovac sa totoo
Atin,
lang sa YouTube para
yes
makita ng
po.
mga tao close to
Atin
give
pong
the
ipopost yan.
AstraZeneca, no?
Opo.
Maganda siguro yon. And then, yes, AstraZeneca can be used for people with high blood pressure and diabetes. Kasi pag itong mga taon to ay ayaw magpabakuna, then sila po ay magka-COVID, mas grabe po yung mangyayari sa kanila. So yes, yes po. Yes to high blood, getting AstraZeneca, and yes to diabetes. In fact, dapat, ito po ang nahulog sa kanila atin pong tinatawag na A3 classification. These are younger people, younger than senior citizens, but with comorbids that could make, for example, they got sick, mas magiging grabe po yung kanilang COVID. So, mauuna po silang mabakunahan than the general population po na walang comorbidity.
From Mr. Ryan Abrantes Garfin, watching from Bicol, Bulan, Sorsogon.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. Thank you so much. And kumusta dyan sa Bulan, Sorsogon? Wait, before we read this, another question na gusto kong Kasi people say, kung na-COVID na ako, di ba, the question is, ba't kailangan ko pang magpabakuna? Kasi ganito po yun, yung antibodies nyo po sa COVID, they are not stable. How do I put this? Hindi po siya guaranteed. Kumbaga, hindi po pinag-aralan yon how long you will be protected. And there have been cases po of people, though rare naman po, no, who have had COVID after having COVID. So it is better to get vaccinated even after the COVID kasi yung antibody level mo with the vaccine is stronger. Number two, longer. And number three, pinag-aralan.
Next question. From Mizari Cruz Larin, dapat po bang magpa-check up bago po magpabakuna?
Actually, hindi. Ako po hindi nagpa-check up. I just rushed there. But if you have a serious illness, for example, cancer chemotherapy, buntis po kayo, grabe po yung diabetes nyo, grabe po yung grabe na. Just regular comorbidities for which you're taking maintenance, there's no need for a check-up. But for example, rare illness, cancer chemotherapy, baka naman, kidney dialysis, you don't even need a check-up, just go, Wala naman hong masamang magpa-check up. Pero there is no requirement po that you need to be checked up. A severe allergy, pa-check up kayo.
From Miss Liza Galpo, ask ko po, Doktora, kasi second dose ko na po ngayon, then pagpunta ko sa site, sabi na ubusan at balik na lang. Okay lang po ba na lumagpas ng araw ang second dose ng vaccine?
Ma'am, it's okay, pero wag naman ho sanang buwanan.
From Mr. Patrocinio Boyet Serranilla, just had our first dose of Astra. Me and my mom, I'm 57 years old, she's 91.
Kumusta po kayo, Sir Boyet? Why don't you share with us? Rains? And kung may naibaba dun sa 57 and sa 91, kasi ito po ito lang ang gusto ko sabihin, and I'm so sorry to say this. It is widely believed that people who suffer side effects are younger. It is known that people who have more side effects are younger. So si Dr. J nagkaroon ng side effects. At first, malungkot siya. Pero nung sinabi ko that people with side effects are younger, and natuwa siya dahil feeling daw siyang younger. Unfortunately, yung tita nyo, walang side effects sa Sinovac. So, hindi na tumigil ng katatawa yung asawa ko, calling me older. Gusto kong dagukan.
From Miss Diela Olaya Alcaraz, pwede po ba ito sa mga breastfeeding moms? Doktora, let me answer that. I'm breastfeeding. Dok, medyo
ano sabi sa'yo ng doctor mo, Rains?
Actually, Doc, ang sabi naman po doon is, okay lang naman daw po, sabi ng OB ko. Pero, I would like to actually ask you, okay lang ba yon, Doc? And malilipat din ba yun kay Kay
Marami
Annie,
ng marami nang nagpabakunang breastfeeding moms, wala namang masamang balita.
I see. So maganda po.
Marami na. Marami na. Wala naman in the US marami nagpabakuna. And the UK kasi mas alam mo, ito lang maraming galit sa Pilipinas ba't ang bagal. Pero actually, wala namang masama kasi nakikita natin yung mga good points and bad points sa ibang bansa. As long as we keep our infections low, we use the mask, we use the face shield, wala namang surge. I mean, it's okay to take our time, pero not naman too much time. Yung observation period, mag-observe tayo. Pero wag naman yung mag-observe ng 2 taon, masama rin naman yon. Pero let's use this time na of the delay for the vaccines kasi talagang konti pa lang din ang global supply. Itong nangyari sa India was also one of the things po na kasi India is one of the major producers, yung all in Serum Institute of India, one of the major producers ito ng Astra Zeneca. So, etong surge nila sa India, yung prinamis nila sa ibang bansa at sa COVAX, sa kanila na lang, 'di ba? I mean, it's just normal. So, etong delay natin will give us the chance to observe a lot of things. And let us use that chance and that time wisely.
From Mr. Edu Agustin, hi Dr. Ana. Sino at sino po ang pwedeng mabakunahan? Sorry. Sino at hindi sino po ang pwedeng mabakunahan? Thank you.
Right now po, sino ang pwedeng mabakunahan? Lahat po ng tao except kids, sa ibang bansa, 15 and below Sa atin, 18 and below kasi wala pa ho talagang trials. Though may trials na sa US about Pfizer. So, yun po yung mga kids 18 and below, yan ang hindi mababakunahan. And those po with a proven allergy po dun sa mga bakuna. Okay? Yung mga may allergy, may advisory pa na magpatingin muna sa kanilang doktor kasi baka naman yung akala nilang allergy, hindi naman pala yun. Okay? So those are the only people na hindi dapat mabakunahan. Everybody else dapat mabakunahan. People with cancer, yes. People under dialysis, mas lalong dapat. People with hypertension and diabetes, go, go, go. And seniors, sobrang dapat. In the Philippines, we have only 3 categories still that we are vaccinating. Ito po yung A1 category. Ito po yung mga frontliners, doctors, nurses, mga people who really work and are considered to be frontliners, working in the hospital, ganun po. Kami ni Dr. J, we're vaccinated po as doctors. A2 category, ito po ang mga seniors, with or without comorbidities. And the A3 category po, ito po yung ages 18 to 59 with comorbidities. After that po, papasok na po yung 18 to 59 na healthy. So, these are the only people po, everyone, kasi we're following a tier due to the given by the WHO. So, yun po yun. Sinong hindi dapat bakunahan? Everyone below 18 years old, and yun talaga pong allergic po sa bakuna.
From Mr. Edu Agustin, what are the indication at contraindications po? Thanks.
Ng bakuna, indications, anyone above 18 to 59, and mas lalo pong yung mga seniors, yung mga may comorbidities o yung mga may ibang sakit na pwede po pag sila po ay na-COVID maging seryoso po, and of course, the frontliners. Contraindication, sinabi ko na po, being a child and being allergic po to components of the vaccine. Meron pong advisory about those on immunosuppressive drugs, you need to see your doctor. Hindi naman po dahil bawal, pero baka po yung efficacy ng vaccine maapektuhan po ng inyong drugs. That's why sa transplant that might be something that you might consider or you might have to talk to your nephrologist about. Pero hindi po bawal yun. You just have a conversation.
From Miss M. Dinah LS, good afternoon po, Doc Ana. Pwede ba AstraZeneca sa anak kong 31 years old? May allergy sa gamot, especially pain relievers. Thank you po.
Ma'am, the only, siguro allergy to NSAIDs ito, no? Ma'am, wala pong advisory about allergies to NSAIDs. So, kung may allergy doctor naman siya, wala naman pong masamang magpatingin. But definitely, that person can take AstraZeneca po. But again, if you're worried, wala naman pong masama.
Doc, ako po, mai-add ko lang po dun. Ako po kasi allergic ako sa NSAIDs na mga gamot. Like, yung mga mefenamic acid, yan, at saka po yung mga iba pong NSAIDs na gamot. Binigyan pa rin naman po ako at wala pa naman pong nangyayari sa aking serious.
Yeah, yes po. The only allergy talaga po is the allergy to the components of the vaccine. Wala naman po siyang pain reliever components. Pero kung may doktor naman ho kayo sa allergy, wala naman ho masamang magpatingin. Excuse me, and banggitin po nyo po yon when you are there. Inom lang po.
Okay, next po.
Okay.
From Mr. Edwin Buita. Good day po, Doktora. I would like to inquire if AstraZeneca vaccine safe for senior citizen. My mom is scheduled for vaccination tomorrow and she is 79 years old. Thank you.
My gosh, 79 na pala yung aking kumare. That's my kumare who's gonna be vaccinated. I'd like to let you know that my uncle who is 86 got vaccinated po with AstraZeneca and he's totally okay. In fact, actually, ito yung kwento eh. Originally, AstraZeneca was approved in the Philippines based on a Swiss study. Merong sa Europe na nag-trial po sila na AstraZeneca sa mga older and they did okay. So, sa Philippines, actually, ang Astra, ang unang, nung dumating nung March, ang nakalagay was Sinovac is not for elderly, only Astra. So actually, mas pa si Astra sa mga elderly. Ngayon, recently na lang po, mga 3 weeks ago, na-aprubahan na po ang Sinovac for the elderly sa Pilipinas. So actually, if you were an older person, mas may data si Astra. Kasi yung data niya galing ng Europe. So yes, your mom can get Astra. And your mom and other elderly persons can also get Sinovac na ngayon. Pero originally, Astra talaga.
Next question po. From Miss Eileen Fernandez Mananghaya. Hello po, Doktora. Pwede po ba sa may asthma?
Eileen, thanks so much. Yes, pwede po siya sa may asthma.
Next, this is from Bless, BMS Alcos. Andre, second dose scheduled today pero sa haba ng pila naabutan ng cut-off. 1,200 doses a lot for today. Until ilan days for second dose?
At sa UK, 3 weeks and some of the people were not exactly, 3 months. And some of the people were not actually exactly 3 months. So may delays din. Okay naman. Pero again, wag naman sanang buwanan yung delay. Matter of days is okay, even a week, 2 weeks. Wag naman sanang 3 months. So last 2 questions na po natin ito.
Next po, Miss Kat.
Before we read the next question, I'd like to invite everyone. This is so super exciting. On May 19 po at in the morning, that's 9 o'clock, we will have one of the foremost infertility experts sa Pilipinas to give us a talk on baog ba ako? Bakit wala pa kaming baby? So, it is Mother's Day. It was Mother's Day last week. Pero ang pagiging baog po or not having children is one of the yung mga gusto maging mothers pero talagang hindi po nangyayari. And mabigat pong sakit ito. This is actually a disease. Very big problem OB-GYN-wise and again, psychology and mental health-wise kasi nakaka-depress po talaga. So, first time po natin, I'm not an OB-GYN kaya talagang maganda po itong topic na ito para sa akin. It's also personal because Benji is an IVF baby and I know a lot about infertility. So, maganda po ito on May 19, that is a Wednesday. The topic po is, baog ba ako? Bakit wala pa kaming baby? And this will be with Dr. Irmina Gueco, hold on, Gomez. Ayan, si ma'am. She is an OB-GYN trained po from the University of the Philippines and Kapampangan. So she'll be joining us po first time for an OB-GYN to talk on infertility dito po. So join us po, May 19. So if there is a Mother's Day, there is are also people desperate to become mothers but they are not successful. So explore po natin itong very important and actually very difficult topic to discuss. Masyadong personal din po. So last question po.
From Miss Morales Lacuna Dana, Dr. Ana, vaccinated po kami Astra Zeneca after 9 weeks po ang next dose namin. Tingkad po, no major side effects po. Rested for 2 days, on the 3rd day we're okay. Parang parehas po kami.
Ay nako, yan ang kwento nyo. May AstraZeneca story kayo. But thank you for sharing this para rin magkaroon ng lakas ng loob ang mga tao. Kasi sometimes, we can lecture all we want, no? Pero talagang to hear a personal story of a real person. And even better pa kung kilala mo, talagang yun ang nakakahikayat talaga sa mga tao. So sa inyo po, if you have been vaccinated po with AstraZeneca and you feel well, ipamalita nyo po, wag po kayong share your experience. Kung nalampasan nyo po, if you had any problems, wala naman pong masamang i-bring up. We can talk about it dito. So sa inyo po lahat, today we discussed AstraZeneca, the experience, the story, the history, the side effects, the blood clots, the elderly, the transplants, at kung bakit, despite all of that, maganda pa rin pa pong magpabakuna sa AstraZeneca. So sa inyo po lahat, magandang hapon po. Thank you so much for joining us.